You're a good man. You provide. You're faithful. You come home. You handle the things she shouldn't have to handle. You do, by every reasonable measure, the work of being a husband. And lately, more often than you can place a finger on, she has been looking at you across a room with an expression you can't read. Not anger, not sadness exactly. Something quieter. Something that feels, when you let yourself notice it, almost like loneliness. As if the person sitting next to her isn't quite present, even when you both know you're right there. And the more you do, the more you take on, the more reliable you make yourself, the more that distance seems to grow. Which makes no sense, because if doing the right things doesn't bring her closer, what does? I want to walk you through what almost no man is ever taught. The gap you're feeling isn't a gap in love, it's a gap in translation. You and she are operating on two completely different systems of what love means in daily practice. And until you learn the system she's using, you can do everything right every single day, and she can still feel further away from you than ever. By the end of this video, I'll give you 4 specific micro-actions identified across decades of research by John Gottman, Reis, Sue Johnson, and Brené Brown that account for most of the variance in long-term relationship satisfaction. None of them require money. None of them take more than seconds. The 4th is the hardest. Stay until the end. Before we go deeper, listen. The fact that you're watching this tells me something specific about you. Most men don't look. So let what's coming land without defensiveness. None of this is an indictment. It's information you weren't given. Let's start with what's actually happening underneath the surface of a good husband. There are 2 completely separate emotional accounting systems running in a long marriage. Yours and hers. Most men don't know hers exists. Most women don't know yours operates by such different rules. Your system runs on big actions, sustained commitments, demonstrated reliability. You measure your love by what you provide, what you protect, what you don't do. You don't drink. You don't lie. You don't leave. You don't betray her. Inside your system, every one of those is a daily act of love. Every paycheck, every fixed faucet, every Saturday with the kids. You are demonstrating love constantly. You wouldn't do any of these things if you didn't love her. Her system runs on something completely different. Reis, the psychologist who developed the concept of perceived partner responsiveness, found something across hundreds of studies. The single strongest predictor of long-term relationship satisfaction isn't what one partner provides for the other. It's whether one partner feels seen, understood, and valued by the other in the small moments of every day. Read that again. The small moments of every day. Not the big things, the small ones. She doesn't measure your love by what you provide. She measures it by whether her experience is being received by you in the room. Whether her 30-second story about her morning gets a response that tells her you actually heard it. Whether her sigh in the kitchen, the one she doesn't even know she's making, gets registered by you. Whether her face, when she walks through the front door, registers on yours. These are not romantic gestures. They are her attachment system asking a basic question dozens of times a day. Are you here? Are you with me? Am I being met by you in this moment? When the answer is consistently yes, the foundation under your marriage stays solid. When the answer is consistently no, it doesn't matter what else you provide. The foundation slowly erodes. This is why a woman in a financially stable, externally enviable marriage can sit across from a husband who has done everything right by every external measure and feel like she is the loneliest woman in the world. The provision is real. The faithfulness is real. None of those things in her system count as the thing she most needed from you, which was the smaller thing, the cheaper thing, the thing that took 2 seconds. There's a writer named Matthew Frey who went through a divorce he hadn't seen coming, who coined a phrase that captures what's been happening between you. He calls it 10,000 paper cuts. Not one wound, 10,000 small moments where her experience was not received, where she said something and you didn't look up, where she made a joke and you didn't laugh, where she expressed concern and you offered a solution before acknowledging the concern, where she walked into the room and you didn't pause what you were doing. Each one was tiny. None of them were anything you could possibly be blamed for. Each one in isolation was reasonable. But over years, those 10,000 small moments stack into something that doesn't look like 10,000 small moments anymore. It looks like a wife who has slowly, quietly concluded that the man across from her is fundamentally somewhere else. If that's hitting close, take a breath. This is not about you being a bad husband. This is about two people in love using entirely different alphabets to say the same word, and no one ever teaching either of you to read the other one. Now, the third thing, because there's a specific pattern that intensifies the misunderstanding, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Deborah Tannen, the linguist who spent her career analyzing male-female communication, found that men in long relationships tend to operate in what she calls fix-it mode. When a woman brings something to her partner, a worry, a frustration, a difficult day, most men, especially the conscientious ones, immediately enter problem-solving mode. They listen for the actionable item. They offer a solution. This feels, from the inside, like the most loving response possible. You are taking her problem seriously enough to want to fix it, and it lands on her side almost exactly opposite to what you intend. Because what she was bringing to you wasn't the problem itself. What she was bringing was her experience of the problem, her need to be witnessed inside it, her unconscious test of whether her inner world matters enough to you that you can stay there with her for a few seconds before you try to fix anything. When you go into fix-it mode, what her nervous system registers is not your care. It's the speed at which you tried to move past where she was. And after enough of that, she stops bringing those things to you at all. Not because she stopped feeling them, because she learned that bringing them to you costs more than it gives back. This is why she might tell her sister things she no longer tells you. Why her best friend knows about a fight she had with her mother that you've never heard about. It isn't that she's hiding things, it's that her emotional life has slowly relocated to people who, in the small currency that matters, do what you stopped doing without realizing you stopped. This leads to the fourth thing, which is the most important reframe in this video. Love is not a noun. Love is a verb. Most men, especially in long marriages, have a particular relationship with love that goes something like this. They fell in love with their wife. They committed. The love is established. It exists. It doesn't need to be performed daily because it is, in their understanding, simply true. Women, on average, don't experience love that way. They experience love as something that has to be evidenced daily in small acts of being met. Not because they're insecure, because the human attachment system is built to register presence, not history. Yesterday's love doesn't fully count if today's love isn't visible. The system needs daily inputs. So when she says, "You say you love me, but I don't feel it," and almost every woman in a long marriage says this at some point, she isn't being irrational. She's reporting that her attachment system is not getting the daily inputs it needs to register love as currently present. Not historically present, currently, in this moment, in this kitchen, on this Tuesday. You haven't stopped loving her. You've just stopped translating that love into the daily, repeated micro-evidence her system can actually receive. Listen carefully. I'm going to give you her voice, not as I imagine it, as researchers and clinicians who work with women in long marriages document it.
I never doubted that you loved me. I know you would do anything for me if I needed it. The problem is that I don't feel it most days. I feel you're somewhere else when I'm in the room. I'm not lonely because you don't love me. I'm lonely because the way you love me doesn't reach me, and I don't know how to tell you that without sounding ungrateful. So I stopped telling you. That's the voice. That's what the look across the dinner table is made of. Now, the 4 micro actions I promised. The first is to turn your head toward her when she walks into the room. Don't say anything, just turn your head. Let your face register her presence. Gottman's research at his Love Lab shows that this single act, what he calls turning toward a bid for connection, is the strongest behavioral predictor of long-term marital stability he has ever identified. Stable couples do it about 86% of the time. Couples heading for divorce do it about 33% of the time. Most men think this is too small to matter. The data says it matters more than almost anything else. The second is to ask a second question. When she tells you something about her day, don't respond. Ask,
Then ask again. The first response is a reflex. The second question is a choice. The second question tells her that her experience is interesting enough to you to want more of it. The kindest gift you can give her tonight is one extra question after the first answer. The third is to validate before you solve. When she brings you something difficult, before you offer a solution, before you offer perspective, say one sentence first. That sounds really hard. Or, I can see why that's getting to you. Or, yeah, that's a lot. That's it. One sentence of validation before the fix. Validation lowers emotional intensity. Invalidation raises it. Even unintentional invalidation, even invalidation that comes from love. And the fourth, the hardest one, tell her something true about your inner world. Not your day, not the news. Something you're afraid of, something you've been worried about. Brené Brown's research on vulnerability is one of the most thoroughly validated findings in modern psychology. Vulnerability is the single most powerful generator of intimacy in adult relationships, and it is, for most men, terrifying. You were trained that strength means containment, that a real man doesn't burden his wife with his fears. The data says the opposite. The man who can say, "I'm scared I'm not enough for you," or "I don't know what I'm doing," or "I miss the man I used to be," that man, in his wife's eyes, is more attractive, not less, more respected, not less. Because vulnerability, said clearly and without manipulation, is one of the rarest and most generous things a long-married man can offer. You don't have to do all four tomorrow. You just have to start, in small, repeating ways, beginning tonight. So when she's standing somewhere in your kitchen tonight, doing something completely unremarkable, get up, walk over. Don't make it a moment. Just put your hand on her back for 2 seconds and ask her one thing about her day she wouldn't expect you to ask. Then, before you respond, before you fix anything, just say, "That sounds like a lot," and then listen. That's the entire homework for the rest of tonight. What's happening when you do this is something quiet and large at the same time. You are starting, in a language she has been waiting to hear from you for years, to translate the love you already have into the words she's actually been asking for. You're not becoming a different man. You're adding one new dialect to a language you've been speaking in only one register. She is still there. She's been there the whole time. She just stopped being able to feel you next to her because the version of love you've been giving her, however true, was being delivered in a code she couldn't decode anymore. Tonight, you start translating, and one day, sooner than you think, she will look up across the dinner table with an expression you do recognize. The one she used to wear a long time ago when she still believed you saw her. The one she's been waiting, quietly, all this time for you to bring back.